Just an overview of African American ministries. We are a ministry of the PCA, specifically under Mission to North America. And our specific ministry mission and vision is, quite frankly, to help the PCA do a better job of reaching, training, and discipling African Americans, and to make sure that the African Americans that are in the PCA are actually thriving in their ministry contexts. Life for an African American pastor in the PCA, on one hand, is very similar to the life of all pastors in the PCA. It can also be lonely at times. We don't have a lot of African American leaders in the PCA. Out of 5,200 pastors, only 65 of them are African American. And many of them are the only African American in their ministry context. And so it takes a lot of learning what it looks like to be a minority and to still stay yourself as the ethnic minority you are within the majority cultural context of the PCA. We have a variety of ministry initiatives, including our Center for African American Church Planting, that is focused on helping the next generation of African American church planters be better equipped. We also have virtual group cohorts, which serve as a space for African American leaders to experience community and camaraderie with one another. We have a big annual gathering called LDR, where we bring together African Americans, especially African American leaders and also congregants, for a time of culturally contextualized worship, training, and fellowship.
Perimeter Church is a PCA church that was started in the late 70s. Randy Pope came here with a vision to plant a church that would plant other churches. In fact, the name Perimeter comes from the Interstate 285 that's called the Perimeter, and the vision always is that we would be a church that impacted people all around the perimeter of Atlanta through a lot of different things, but primarily through the planting of other churches. We've always known and understood if we want to impact all of Atlanta with the gospel and through church planting, we would need to see churches planted that are multi-ethnic churches and are churches that belong to specific ethnic minority groups. There's an area near the Atlanta University Center where a lot of the who's who of Black Atlanta leaders have lived. But the interesting thing is outside 285, almost all of those counties, the African American population is going up and up and up. So this brother on our church planting commission said, let's pray for an African American planter to plant somewhere south of I-20. So when that decision was made, I said, well, I want to partner with African American ministries of Mission to North America from the get-go.
Kellie, at some point, became convinced this is what God wanted us to do. We felt like God had equipped us with the years of ministry, the experience in church planting, the love for church planting, and the heart desire to reach our people. And just the two of us, we just appreciate the beauty of African American culture that has so well blossomed in a city like Atlanta.
Kindred Hope is a church plant in the city of South Fulton, Atlanta, Georgia. We are still technically Atlanta. We're just outside of the 285 Beltline. We are brand new and excited to also be starting a church planting movement for African Americans, which is a return to the PCA's original vision to do Black church planting 25 some odd years ago. And so we're looking to be a culturally Black-centered church here in Atlanta.
One thing that was important to this calling to us is there was a desire to have more than just another worship service or another church planted. The desire was to have a movement started where we would have churches that specifically focused on and engaged the African American culture and the generations represented there. And we knew that Atlanta was the perfect place for it. So here we are now. We've been there about 1.5 years, and now that we've done our fundraising phase through Perimeter Church, we have just now begun to actively pursue people and officially start outreach gatherings.
I particularly see a need with Black folks to have churches that are relevant to them, that are preaching the gospel in a way that's accessible to them. People are still hungry in this post-church era. They're still looking for truth. They're still drawn to authentic biblical teaching.
I definitely believe Kindred Hope is a church that's for the community, about the community, and wants to involve those community members and make it look like the community. Where we have events where people can come to and they just feel comfortable and feel that sense of relief from the world, and it offers them hope as well as a way to release the pressures of life. Kindred Hope is one of those places I feel that you can come and just be yourself, and truly believes, as you know the word says, come as you are.
Reformed thinking and theology is very important to recovering some of the things that have been lost in the African American experience. This idea of a God who may not know or may not see, or things that are hidden aren't seen by him. The sovereign nature of God assures us that all that has been done wrong, all that has been hidden and in private and in secret, he sees, and he's not forgotten. And he's involved in those things for the good of his children and his people. That our story is not a story of destruction for African Americans who know him. It is a story, a long story, a story filled with sorrow and hardship, but a story ultimately of redemption in Jesus Christ.
I would say that Kindred Hope is for such a time as this. It's important for us to be able to have this space in the PCA because we need to be able to celebrate our culture, celebrate our belief in the Reformed theology, but also be able to reach out to those, especially I would say in our younger age group of people. And Howard and Kellie have that ability to do that. I see that what they are doing from personal experience is they are actually taking some people who needed that hope for a second chance, and they are actually using the gospel to let them know about that hope.
Here's my vision. Together in the PCA is we have some churches that are mono-ethnic and monocultural, and other churches that are multi-ethnic and multicultural. You put it all together and we become a beautiful multi-ethnic denomination that is reaching people literally of every color and stripe and socioeconomic level of Americans. So that would be my hope.